The Aziz brothers, two Yemeni brothers who were deported to Ethiopia after arriving at Dulles International Airport in Virginia on January 28th, finally set foot on U.S. soil on Monday, January 6th, as a legal battle in U.S. courts continues over President Donald Trump's Muslim ban. 21-year-old Tareq Aziz and his 19-year-old brother Ammar were greeted by their father Akwel Aziz and attorneys after clearing customs at Dulles. Over 180,000 people have fled Yemen in recent years, a country beset with the legacy of a decades-long U.S.-backed dictator and an escalating humanitarian crisis resulting from an ongoing war led by Saudi Arabia and directly supported by the U.S. military. More on that later in the story. Their arrival comes after a U.S. appeals court on Saturday, February 4th, denied an emergency appeal from the U.S. Department of Justice to restore the immigration order from Trump. The nonprofit Legal Aid Justice Center raised funds via a crowdfunding campaign to provide the brothers legal counsel. The online campaign Aziz vs. Trump has raised over $36,000 as of Monday. This is Akwel Aziz, an American citizen after being reunited with his sons.
Thank you for every single person try to help me bring my kids back. I'm so happy, I'm so glad. And this is America. America is for everybody. For everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The Aziz brothers were deported to Ethiopia after the U.S. visas were stamped with the word canceled in bold just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump issued an executive order barring citizens from 7 mainly Muslim countries and temporarily banning refugees. The elder of the two brothers, Tareq, is relieved to have arrived in the U.S. following the ordeal.
I just want to thank all the people who support us and who were with us. They made me feel like there is a family here, that we have a family, and that's what I love about America. Thank you guys, thank you so much.
Tareq's younger brother, Ammar, said through an interpreter that he's planning on concentrating on school. Attorneys from the Legal Aid Justice Center at Dulles Airport greeted both of them and hailed their arrival a partial victory.
This morning a wrong has been made right. An injustice has been rectified. We're standing here this morning with 9 people who did absolutely nothing wrong, who had absolutely no reason to be barred from this country, other than the fact that their passport said Yemen on it.
Trump faces an uphill battle to overcome a federal judge's temporary hold on his travel ban. Last Friday, a federal judge ordered a nationwide temporary restraining order against Trump's Muslim ban. The ruling by U.S. District Judge James Robart came in response to 2 legal challenges pursued by the states of Washington and Minnesota against the executive order. But the outcome of the ruling on the executive order's ultimate legality is less certain. Meanwhile, the situation in Yemen continues to deteriorate. It's one of the gravest but least understood or reported humanitarian catastrophes in the world. It's backed by the United States, a topic Real News senior editor recently interviewed Alternat's Ben Norton about.
But since March 2015, the U.S. has staunchly backed a Saudi-led war on Yemen. Yemen is the poorest country in the Middle East. More than 80% of the population for 2 years now has been in desperate need of humanitarian aid, according to humanitarian groups. Not only is there a massive bombing campaign that the U.S. has backed, and Saudi Arabia is leading a coalition of 10 Arab countries, all Sunni majority, that are fighting rebels inside Yemen, which are called the Houthis. I mean, this is not a religious conflict, but the Houthis are themselves Shia, and that kind of shows the political alliances. There are allegations that the Houthis that the Saudi-led coalition are fighting are backed by Iran. Rhetorically, they certainly have expressed support for Iran. Politically, they're certainly aligned. The question is how much material support they've gotten from Iran, and that is debated. I mean, most people agree who seriously look at this, and serious analysts will agree that Iran's influence is certainly extant, but it's not large. Iran has sent weapons shipments likely to the Houthis through Oman, but although Oman said that they're going to stop allowing this to happen. But at the end of the day, the Houthis don't necessarily need access to foreign weapons. Yemen is also one of the most highly militarized, in terms of sheer number of weapons, countries in the world. Most households have guns. So the Houthis don't have a shortage of weapons. And at the end of the day, the Houthis are themselves Yemeni. But a lot of Saudi propaganda that has been echoed by the U.S. government for 2 years now has claimed that the Houthis are Iranian proxies. The Washington Post actually published a very good article based on an expert's analysis, saying that no, the Houthis actually are not Iranian proxies, and I would invite anyone interested in reading and further information to read that. But at the end of the day, the Trump administration is really using their ties to Iran to push for more aggressive action. And of course, another thing to mention really quickly is that the war in Yemen has been absolutely catastrophic and destabilizing too. Trump's first raid that was carried out in Yemen, and it was a complete disaster. At least one U.S. Navy SEAL died, which got a lot of attention. But what got less attention is that, according to local medics, more than 10 civilians, including women and children, were killed in the Navy SEAL raid. One of whom was an 8-year-old girl, Nawar al-Awlaki, whose father, Anwar al-Awlaki, was killed in a U.S. drone strike. He was an al-Qaeda propagandist. And his 16-year-old son was also killed in a U.S. drone strike. He, Abdurrahman, was a U.S. citizen.
Go to therealnews.com for the full interview. This is Jessel Moore.